Today we have an esteemed guest, Mr. Priyank Kharge.
Well, I'm open, so you pick where you want to start from. I have nothing to hide, so.
The tug-of-war for the Karnataka Chief Minister's seat.
That there still will be a change in CM. Karnataka Chief Minister post is actually up for sale.
So clearly, all is not well despite what is being said.
Right now, we have our roles defined. Mr. Siddaramaiah is the Chief Minister. Mr. D.K. Shivakumar is the PCC President and the Deputy CM. Mr. Parameshwar is the Home Minister. Priyank Kharge is the IT Minister and the RDPR Minister. So we have our roles defined, and the party and the people expect us to deliver to the best of our capabilities for them.
Now, coming back to what Karnataka lost with respect to your recent trip, have you got a reply from Ministerial Affairs why your visa was...
It's not about Priyank Kharge going to the US. It's about
the unfortunate incident of the RCB fiasco and 11 people losing life. Could AI have helped there in terms of the crowd management?
I think common sense would have helped there rather than AI.
Just somewhere the brand Bengaluru that you envision is kind of overtaken by the talk of the infrastructure that's not keeping pace with the Bangalore's development.
See, this is a problem with every growing city. I'm not trying to...
The whole recent Rapido thing in terms of the bike taxis. Why is there a pressure? Is there a pressure?
We are in a phase of transition, and I think in due course there will also be a...
Competition is also increasing. You spoke about the GCC. Hyderabad, Mumbai is fast catching up.
Delhi is close to around 300 odd.
Yeah.
So Mumbai is close to around 200 odd. I am 910. Last year, my IT exports was 4.5 lakh crores. The closest is my neighbor Telangana with 2.1 lakh crores. So where is the competition, sir?
What do you think of this person when I tell the name? Yeah? PM Narendra Modi. Tejasvi Surya. For 2028 for Karnataka elections, what would be the campaign material for the Congress to stay in power? Hello and welcome to another episode of Tech Talk. Today we have an esteemed guest, Mr. Priyank Kharge, the Minister for IT, BT, Electronics and Rural Development and Panchayat Raj. He was the youngest minister and continues to be the youngest minister in the Siddaramaiah cabinet. The state in terms of the IT ministry where 25% of the GSDP comes from one particular sector, and that's under him, and it's distinguished probably from what he has done in terms of the IT policies. A tech publication talking about tech to a technology minister is going to be the same that everyone would have expected. So let's talk something beyond this. I'll start with you. Where do you want to start?
No, well, firstly, thank you so much, Prabhu, for having me over. And well, I'm open. So you pick where you want to start from. I have nothing to hide, so...
I don't want to kind of stereotype, but if I were to put certain words, how would you describe yourself? An Ambedkarite, a Buddhist, a leftist, or a mix of...
for sure. An Ambedkarite for sure. And of course, I think everybody is quite aware of the fact that we follow Buddhism as well. But it's difficult to put me in a box because I'm not the kind that will stay in a box. So you can call me sort of out of the box, but definitely an Ambedkarite for sure.
I think in today's politics, I think he's even more relevant with what's happening. We'll talk about that later. Your interest with animation, how did you pick up animation?
Oh, well, that's... I don't know if I should be saying this. So, after my 12th, actually, I mean, in 12th, it's a herd mentality, right? So everybody, if one of them in the class writes CET, everybody writes CET. If somebody wanted to become doctor, many of us wanted to become doctor. So like that, many of us wanted to be lawyers in my friend circle. So we all wrote National Law School. I passed my National Law School exam. But unfortunately, I did not pursue that for some other reasons. And that's when the computer science bug was also quite high. The trend was quite high. although I didn't want to do engineering. But somehow animation caught my eye because of I like to doodle, I like to illustrate, and so I thought maybe this was the way forward. And that time animation was not a degree,
Right.
so it was a diploma. Now it's a degree. So that's why I always get this flack from BJP, like, you're not a degree holder. And I said that time there was no degree, so I did a diploma. But if I was in my right senses, I would have been a lawyer by now. But anyway, that's something that I still get scolded by my mother for. But yeah, so I think it had to do with more of my creativity. And I myself was, like I said, an illustrator. I think I started leaning towards it then. And you have a streak of rebel during those times, right? When you're a teenager. So what is told to you, you don't do it.
Great. I also heard that you go on solo trips every year for your birthday.
That is something that I've been practicing of late. I mean, when you're a politician, on your birthday, a lot of people come in, and thousands of people come in with a lot of presents for you, with a lot of flowers, with a lot of celebration, expectation, and things like that. But somehow, a few years back, I thought that this is not the way it should be. Even if you read Dr. Ambedkar, he says that bhakti is very important, but it should be for peace of mind. It should be spiritual in nature. And the bhakti should not come on a vyakti, that is on a person. Otherwise, he becomes a dictator. That had a sort of an impression on me, and I thought I should stop celebrating. And it's been 8-9 years since I've done so. And so on my birthday, I just go out discovering our country culturally, spiritually, historically.
Right. Now, contrasting picture, right? You have on the one side IT department, on the other side rural development and panchayat raj. Both in terms of extremes, right? One in terms of the technology is flourishing. The other side kind of agriculture is kind of pumping up, and everybody looks for rural development in terms of housing to road development to how it is going to pump up the rural economy. How are you balancing both, and how are you integrating both?
So this is a question that I get a lot. At one end of the spectrum, you are doing IT and completely urban, and your other role is completely rural development. The good thing is I have a ringside view of both, and I will be able to, or I have been able to converge that. So I've been able to use the best practices of technology to bring in transparency in the RDPR department. So if you see the Panchatantra 2 that we have built, the architecture is extremely good. It's completely transparent. In fact, the central government is looking at us to help them build this architecture. I'll give you a small example. How we have managed to digitize all the assets of the panchayat, properties of the panchayat. We were able to get in over 1 crore properties within the tax ambit now. And that has resulted in ensuring that we have, for the first time in the history of Karnataka, that we were able to collect 1,237 crores as taxes from rural areas. And this money is not coming to the government. It's going to stay there for economic progression of the local areas of the panchayats. And we have ensured, we have got in a lot of digital governance within the panchayat to ensure transparency in meetings, transparency in proceedings, better e-attendance system, better delivery of citizen services. We have more than 160 citizen services that we are giving at the village level. So all this transformation has happened, which is extremely good. So this convergence of technology for rural development has been a great blessing.
I've been tracking the RDPR and I used to cover agriculture as a beat probably a decade back. The RDPR website back then had a nice, I think the Panchatantra or Panchamitra, one of those websites, had a good Karnataka map, and I could go to the granular level of the village and click details and get the details. Now, even now it's available, but it's not that user friendly as it was before. Perhaps I would want your team to kind of put that back so that, a person who's kind of, visually, creative, he would want to just click on see and then go by the map, and
So
rather
now-
than select from the drop down.
So now we have gone beyond that. We have an AI chatbot that is there. So you can use your WhatsApp and you can get the proceedings of your village on your phone. And if you have any problem in the village, you can upload it into the Panchamitra portal that you were talking about. So it's completely driven in Kannada and in English. So anybody, and even if you are not comfortable with typing, you can leave a voice message, you can send a picture. So we have ensured that what was there on a desktop is now available on your mobile. And everybody is very, very happy and comfortable with WhatsApp. So I think we have more than around 600,000 users for that monthly.
I mean, talking of technology, what are some of the AI applications that you use? Have you used ChatGPT or any other?
Yeah, I mean, as a custodian of technology in the tech capital of India, I need to be, if not ahead of the curve, at least along the curve. And yes, I have used a lot of these AIs, and since I myself am a sort of a creative and trained graphic designer, I've tried even generative AI, although I've not found a really use case for it so far. But yes, I've used a lot of tools. I've seen a lot of tools that are used even for processes and coding. But yeah, personally, I don't use it much. I still prefer putting my thinking cap on.
When you interact with your kids, does the topic of Gen AI and AI comes into picture, and what are they curious about?
Not really. They don't talk to me much. I think it's because I end up asking them questions on what they're doing in school. So I think there's a problem with every teenager and the father relationship. So although they would want to know what's happening with AI and all that, somehow comes back to their report card, somehow comes back to their sports, somehow comes back to their class.
So are you a strict father?
Well, I think they think I'm a strict father. So
In terms of these applications, right? I mean, quite a lot of AI applications are developed, AI agents are getting developed. Now, with respect to Panchayat Raj and rural development, how is the Karnataka state implementing these on ground? And, where are we leveraging these?
So we are being a bit cautious. We're not diving into anything completely. We are trying it in a sandbox environment, mainly because of the data privacy issues, and whatever we have to do with governance needs to be dealt with cautiously. So we are trying it in e-governance and a lot of other things. So example, we are using AI to determine crop losses, whether the crop losses pictures that are coming to us are genuine or not. Sometimes it's photo shopped and everything.
I know the Bengaluru traffic police department and the police department are using AI in terms of monitoring, all the traffic signals and stuff. How are we leveraging for brand Bengaluru? Where is AI getting implemented?
So it's getting implemented in different departments. One is the BDA for properties is marking and analyzation is what I've understood. And there is also a company who had come forward to help us determine whether we are getting the actual revenues that we are supposed to be. So let's say somebody has built 4 floors but are paying only for 3 floors. So that's something that they're able to gauge. That is something that they're experimenting with. And of course, the Bangalore traffic, like you mentioned, we have developed a drone with smart tech, which analyzes the length of the pile up and suggests deviation. That's also being done in on a pilot basis with the traffic police. So we are, and in forensics, digital forensics, we are trying to figure out how to use them. So everything is happening at a small scale. Like I said, as a government, we need to be cautious because we have a bigger responsibility of using AI more responsibly. Because if we ourselves are going to be responsible about it and doing things that should not be, that it's not expected of us to do.
So is the state thinking of a separate law governing AI?
So I wouldn't say governing AI, but definitely we are propagating responsible use of AI. You know, how misinformation is spreading, you know, how disinformation, fake news, deep fakes, the banking frauds, all these are happening. And I think there are a huge loss of economies to us.
You said the state is moving a bit cautious on AI front. And since we talked about AI for Bangalore in terms of the traffic management of the unfortunate incident of the RCB fiasco and 11 people losing life, could AI have helped there in terms of the crowd management?
I think common sense would have helped there rather than AI. And on that particular day, I think all of us could have done better. BCCI could have done better. IPL officials could have done better. Government could have done better. Department of Home could have done better. A more responsible handling of social media of the RCB team could have been done better. Fans could have done better. I mean, all of us. It just did not happen, this thing. And let's assume we were using AI or whatever. The AI is going to tell us that, look, that there's too much of crowd and there needs management. The management has to happen physically.
Correct.
Right?
So that decision making, it could have helped in terms of, okay, fine, one particular signal, we are seeing too much of people inflow, and then that's where the decision makers will have to take the right call.
Hindsight, everything could have been done. Like I said, maybe you didn't even need AI. Like I said, common sense could have prevailed. But yes, like it's a very unfortunate incident. And as a responsible government, we've already owned up to it, and we're working towards it. And probably we'll be getting a crowd management bill as well, where probably use of such technologies will be advocated.
Wonderful. Now, in terms of talking about brand Bengaluru, I think you had a lead role in terms of the brand Bengaluru logo. Brand Bengaluru. So, I mean, your animation skills, and then how did that play a role in that? And then how do you, I still hear from your team that, you know, he's kind of, every design he evaluates.
No. See, I think it's just not about a logo or branding. You know? It's not, we need to tell a story. We need to sell ourselves better. So when everybody talks about brand Bengaluru. What is brand Bengaluru? Has it been defined? So I tried defining that during my tenure as a tourism minister. So what is Karnataka's tagline? One state, many worlds. But when I go out and speak about Hampi or Mysuru or Badami or Sannati, people, in the international and national forum, it doesn't ring a bell. What rings a bell is Bengaluru, because it's the capital.
Right.
And what we tried creating was that how do I leverage this port of entry, which is cosmopolitan in nature and which has a global appeal, so that I can ensure that tourism develops across Karnataka. So we were that time, and currently also, we were one of the fastest growing airports in the world. We still are. And at that time, it was around 200 million people entering only through the airport. So my idea was that if I'm able to make them stay one more day in Bangalore, let's say you have a 2-day program you're coming in for a quick meeting with for IT or with any other corporate, how do I ensure that I entice you to stay back in Bengaluru for one more day, or go send you to Kabini or send you to Mysore for one more day for discovering our tourist places? if you're going to spend another, how do I ensure that you spend another extra $100? So 200 million, let's assume 50 of them I'm being able to convince. That's 100 million.
I think your past experience of being a tourism minister is coming into that.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to do with that. So if 100 million people spend an extra $100, that money is going to the BBMP. That's money is coming as a tax to the government, which we can use for better infrastructure. But how do I sell the story of Bengaluru? So that's when French cities like Lyon, Australian cities like Melbourne, everybody were rebranding their cities. So I thought, of course, if we want to be global players, we have to start acting like global players as well. So we floated a challenge to brand Bengaluru with National Institute of Design and NIFT and Chitrakala Parishad to let's hear from people what do they think of Bengaluru. So they came out with a logo which I think a lot of people use it now. It's just gaining traction. It says Bengaluru and it is BU in a different color. So you can be yourself in Bengaluru, and if you see the Uru, URU thing, it is like a Kannada font.
Right.
So it was designed by a private company, which we got around some 1,000 entries. So we combed through that, and we did we came up with a logo for Bengaluru, a brand for Bengaluru. And that brand Bengaluru had a story of economy around it. It is just not a logo. Like I said, how do I ensure I create cultural walks, heritage walks, gastro pub walks, colonial, we have a colonial history, we have a flora and fauna history, we act as a great port to go to a beach like Shashi Hitlu, we have a great place to go like Kabini where you can see tigers. Show me one state where you can find something as ancient as Buddha to something as modern as paddling and surfing and rock climbing, and actually you can go see a tiger in less than 3 hours from a port of entry. So we have it all. So how do we encash that is what I tried doing with the brand Bengaluru. But unfortunately, I could just get the logo done. I was able to create these walks around Bengaluru, and by the time we were voted out. So, consistency of needs to be there if these things need to be done on a global scale.
On tourism, you spoke about much. In terms of the brand Bengaluru, and when we think of beyond Bengaluru, which I'll touch upon later, there's somewhere the brand Bengaluru that you envision is kind of overtaken by the talk of the infrastructure that's not keeping pace with the Bangalore's development.
See, this is a problem with every growing city. I'm not trying to shy away from my responsibilities. Yes, Bengaluru can do better. Karnataka can do better. We can improve our roads. We can improve our infrastructure. But that's a problem that plagues every growing city. So I was reading a recent report where it said that Bengaluru is going to go to at 8.5% for till around 2035. So we'll be the fastest growing city, not only in Asia, but we'll be in the top 5 global cities. And we are absorbing so much of migration. So that is why we recently, when the 16th Finance Commission came over to the state, we gave them data on saying that, look, we are creating a lot of employment. We are absorbing a lot of migration. So kindly, you need to help us with funds as well. We are the job creators. We are one of the strongest economic engines for the country. And if we are able to get more funding, we will be able to deliver better infrastructure. Yes, we can. Like I said earlier, it's our responsibility. We have to do it. Show me one cosmopolitan or metropolitan that is growing rapidly that doesn't have infrastructure problems. London.
See, there are infrastructure problems, no doubt about it. But the way of life in terms of, how a person enjoys that public infrastructure, right? You talked about London. I've been to London. I'm sure you've been there. The footpaths, right? I can walk 10 kilometers, 12 kilometers a day and catch a bus and catch a train and then go back home. That doesn't happen here because the infrastructure doesn't support me. As a cycler, if I were to cycle, I have to fear every time. Now, from Hebbal till Silk Board, yes, infrastructure is getting built up, great, but it's constantly under construction. Why is that?
So,
And can't we finish projects on time?
No, like I said, that's always a problem with any growing city. So London, you were saying, so if I take my car to Central Business District, I am fined a congestion tax. Now imagine me doing that in here. The minute I say you have to pay congestion tax, I'll be booted out of this thing. There will be a lot of huge civic society uproar. Yes, I do agree that we need to plan better. And we are at it. So if you see the longest work of drainages that have happened was during our previous tenure. The longest reaches of metro has happened at rapid pace during our year. Now we are spending a lot of money, more than 17,000 crores on trying to network through tunnels with for Bengaluru, the junctions that you mentioned. And we can do better, and we are trying to do everything that is in our best. So if you talk about London, New York, they started out a little early. See, what happened to Bangalore was that up to the 80s, there was only PSUs that were driving. We were the education hub because of the research institutes and engineering colleges and all that. And then we became the PSU hub with NAL, HAL, ITIs, HMT, BHEL. So we were a nice, quiet pensioners' paradise. So the pensioners' paradise got disrupted in the 90s. And the disruption was so fast, so huge, that policies are still playing catch up to that disruption. So I'm sure you ask any old Karnataka or any old Bangalorean, they
Born and brought up here, so
yeah, so you know how it was. Look, the AMG Road Boulevard is now a metro station. So we have to change with times. But yes, people's expectation is that it should happen rapidly. But it's always a difficult thing to do. We cannot do anything but be slightly apologetic about it and ensure that it is done on time or at a rapid pace. And we are doing all we can.
When Congress came to power in 2023, it was also on the backdrop of the corruption allegations against the previous government, the 40% commission and all of that. Where is that getting penalized in terms of who are those people? Why are we not penalizing them? Where is the state heading towards accountability?
See, I'll be honest with you. Whatever allegations we made, it was not a hit and run allegation. It was not a shot in the dark. We put up the documents when we were in the opposition in public domain and said, look, these are the scams, whether it's the Bitcoin scam, whether it's the 40% scam, whether it's the PSI scam, whether it was the AW recruitment scam, and or whether it's even the Corona scam. When we came to power 2 years back, we ensured that investigations have begun for everything. You know about the Justice Kunno report, which have said that the former CM and the former health minister should be booked for trying to make money during Corona, for trying to buy health kits at higher prices. And you have seen officers being arrested and sent to jail. It's taking time only for the fact that we are doing a thorough inquiry. More than 2 retired judges are working on this right now, and in both the interim reports, they have implicated politicians, they have implicated officers, and they have been arrested as well. If you know, a former MLC was sent to jail during our tenure. FIRs have been lodged. So it's a work in progress, and we will be thorough. It's not political witch hunt.
When B.R. Patil from your own party tried to make allegations recently, you had made a comment saying that he should have come to the party and then spoken about it rather than going public. Now, if somebody is trying to be transparent with the system, though he did not name anybody, what is wrong in that? And
absolutely nothing. So when you have multiple forums to discuss these issues, and expose these issues, if at all it is happening, first it should be done there. And you see, you cannot go in for a media debate first and without documents.
Right.
If you have a problem, you have documents, you have proof. Anybody, whether it is BJP, Congress, JDS, it does not matter. Corruption is corruption. So if you have that, you have various platforms to do that, or expose with documents in media, like how we did. Nobody is saying no, but you cannot just randomly speak and not prove your point. Anybody for that matter. I have, especially within our own party, everybody, see, people have huge expectations from us. You as a compeer or a person who's interviewing, if you were interviewing a BJP person, you would not have asked about Bengaluru infrastructure. They would not have answered also. They would have told about Modi's Mann Ki Baat. Your expectation is with us. You are expecting us to be in power. Yes. So, no, party. We are accountable. I am not shying away at all. I am responsible for everything. If I am not able to get investments in IT, yes, it's my responsibility. You can question me. If there is a infrastructure problem, you can question me. If there is corruption that is happening under my nose, you can and you should question me. But I am saying we are open, and I love the fact that all good things are expected from us. Sir,
I'm thankful that you're taking questions and then, kind of be receptive to, certain questions and kind of taking that accountability and responsibility. Great. Now, coming to that, brand Bengaluru picture, right? Now, I was also talking to a few industry leaders yesterday, before interviewing you. K.S. Vishwanathan, the former NASSCOM person, he was, talking about why brand Bengaluru can't be in the next few years, that I am a state which can compete with any other state or any other city from Bengaluru from the academia, from the IT infrastructure, from my talent pool. Why is that academia and industry collaboration not happening wisely? Because even if we look at the curriculum, right, the engineering curriculum is about to change in 2026-27. Now, there is already a gap in terms of when AI was implemented. There is a 5-year gap. And how are we training the trainers in terms of the teachers? So what is happening on that front?
See, like I said, policies always play catch up to technology. It's not only in India, anywhere in the world, whether it's America or the European countries, policies always play catch up to the dynamics of technology. Nobody has a ready answer for it. But having said that, today, if we are the world's 4th largest technology cluster, if we are in the top 5 AI cities in the world, if we are number 8 in the startup ecosystem in the world, it is because we have an agile human resource. We have a great talent pool here. People are, like I said, people are ready to reskill and upskill themselves at a drop of a hat. That's why we are so good. And like you mentioned, it's always difficult to change curriculum midway in a mid-academic year. So how are we addressing the problem? Through NASSCOM, through think tanks, through corporates, is we have formed a committee that's headed by me and the skill development minister. It's a committee for emerging technologies. We are talking to over 200 corporates across sectors. It's just not IT enabled services or anything. We are talking to banking, we are talking to cyber companies. We are taking the skill sets from them. And we are telling them that, look, you give us the skill sets that is needed. We will pitch in 50%, you pitch in 50%, and we want to have the most trained human resource who can deliver on global stage. So I'm having a human resource, a talent pool that is now catering to Boston, not just Bengaluru ecosystem. With the advent of global capability centers, we are no more catering only to Karnataka or India. We are catering to different economies across different timelines. And this emerging the technologies committee that we have put up, the feedback is coming in from there. And we are telling whatever feedback we are getting, we put it in a curriculum. By the time the academic council decides and puts it as a curriculum, the technology would have changed already. But what can I do as a government? Quick fixes, like bring in programs like Nipuna Karnataka, engage with the corporates better, engage with think tanks better. And that's what we are doing. We are not waiting for curriculums to be changed. We are ensuring that we have these multiple skill centers which are agile. We are creating clusters. Like I said, I will give you the most employable human resource, most employable talent in the country for the world. So that is how we are doing things here.
Great, but the competition is also increasing. You spoke about the GCC. Karnataka is leading on the GCC front. 875 centers as per the last report. Hyderabad, Mumbai is fast catching up. I think they've already crossed 400 odd, and Mumbai is about 500 odd.
Delhi is close to around 300 odd.
Yeah.
So Mumbai is close to around 200 odd. I am 910. Okay, that's with GCCs. Last year's my IT exports was 4.5 lakh crores. The closest is my neighbor Telangana with 2.1 lakh crores. So where is the competition, sir? We love competition. It keeps us on the edge. It keeps us on our toes. We know when to pull up our socks. We'll know when to get a policies done. So tell me, sir, IT policy first, who care? We. Biotech policy, we. EV policy, we. Battery storage policy, we. GCC policy, we. State-specific space policy, we. AVGC policy, we. Engineering and R&D policy, we.
Great.
So unfortunately, marketing is something that we lack in. In Kannada, there's a saying, Achara ide, vichara ide, prachara illa. That means we work, we put our thoughts and we do a great job, but we don't market it enough. That is something that we need to learn from BJP.
Is it because Congress was always cautious that I should not project myself too much towards the people? Or is it that, okay, you lost out on initially how to reach out to the people?
No, we think that the work will speak for itself. So like I said, so show me any other ecosystem that is as agile as us, as welcoming as us. Show me any ecosystem that can speak on global competence. Also delivering locally. Not many. Although, like I said, Tamil Nadu is doing a great job. Maharashtra is doing a great job. So is Telangana and so is Andhra. Now, like you said, competition. Now, how do you expect me to compete with Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, who is giving 1 acre of land at 99 paisa? How should I compete? How do I compete with him when he wants to tap into our ecosystem of aerospace by giving land free for aerospace park? How do you expect me to compete with Tamil Nadu when they are building an ecosystem very close to the Karnataka border in Hosur? So talent pool, technology, policy, everything from here. Geographical location there. So we have to be cautious. Like I said, we love this competition that we are this thing. It helps us stay ahead of the curve.
You spoke about the whole infrastructure part, rural development and all of that. Now, coming back to what Karnataka lost with respect to your recent trip that you've raised constantly with the Ministry of External Affairs. Have you got a reply from the Ministry of Affairs? Why your visa was...
It's not about Priyank Kharge going to the US. I have a valid US visa. I can go anytime personally. It's about the minister of the world's 4th largest technology cluster being denied his right to go and seek investments for the country. So when I'm going to get investments to Karnataka, doesn't it help the nation? Doesn't it create jobs for everybody? Isn't it good for the country that you're positioning the country as a leader in space, aerospace, manufacturing, semiconductor? So while you're talking big on Make in India, Digital India, Skill India, National Quantum Mission, National AI Mission, who's driving all these things? Is Yogi Adityanath ji driving these things? Is Madhya Pradesh CM driving these things? Is Gujarat CM driving these things? Is the Assam CM driving these things? No, we are driving it. We have nothing against these industries going to any other state. They're welcome, but do the hard work. But when we are doing it, you are not allowing us to do. At least give us valid reasons. If you are telling me, Priyank, you cannot go to the US, or the Minister for Information Technology, Electronics and Biotechnology of the tech capital of India cannot go to the US because it's a policy matter. We are not allowing you to do so because it's against our investment policy, it's against our national policy, it's against the rules of the land, and constitutionally you're not allowed. Fair enough. But you allow certain BJP ruled state ministers to go, but don't allow us to go. I don't understand. And it's not that we have not submitted to the government the reasons. So when a delegation headed by me is denied permission, so I take out my name and I give the same set of officials with the same objectives, same meetings, it gets approved. So the problem, it looks like they have a problem with me and not with the delegation, right?
I think this also happened in the past with once with DK Shivkumar also, he was not given. Now, of course, this is blatantly happening in terms of how the politics is being played out in terms of how they let the non-BJP states to, travel. What did Karnataka lose out? What MOAs we were supposed to sign?
See,
how much money was supposed to come in?
It's not about Karnataka losing out. It's about the country losing out. Last time when I was in US, me and the industry minister were in US, we signed MOUs close to around 31,000 crores, out of which close to around 22,000 crores has been realized. It's not a MOU. People have already invested. People are working here, and it is probably, they're all in the top 20 Fortune 500 companies. They've invested 21,000, 22,000 crores, created close to around 18,000 jobs already. So who is losing out, sir? The country is losing out. We are the anchor. When I go there, nobody tells that Priyank Kharge has come. They are going to say the Minister for Information Technology from India, from Bangalore has come. I'm getting an appointment because of my designation, not because of my name, not because of anything else. And after the super success of last year, or last couple of years, this time we had greater ambitions for the nation. We wanted to make a mark in biotech. We wanted to make a mark in aerospace and space, which is we wanted to make a mark in the defense electronics sector. We had got a lot of meetings lined up. And when a delegation goes led by a minister, we get a lot of serious players to come and talk to us. We get to talk to the decision makers. If it's only the officers, they cannot take decision, right? They will say, again, we have to push back, to push the envelope back to the ministry. We will come back to you. It's just going to be a tour, a visit of learning. There will be nothing implemented. So by denying such permissions, I think the government, the central government is creating an unhealthy environment for investment. So why will the corporates or the different states in America or any other country take us seriously when it's not being led by a minister? They'll just say things like, look, there's some officers who come, show them a good time, give them tea, coffee, send them, just get to know. Who's going to sit and explain these policies?
So how are we bridging that gap now? Now the damage has already been done.
Oh, well, I have written to the MEA asking for valid reasons. Give us reasons. We have ultimately, whom are we all working for? For the people. We are working for the country. I just happen to be from Karnataka. If I was a minister in Madhya Pradesh or Bihar, I would have still done the same thing, right? It's for the people. But I think the MEA has a lot of answering to do. And I'm hopeful they will answer me rather than give a statement like how they do in the parliament, no data available.
Which is fair. I mean, while we are talking about so much transparency across departments, it is also disheartening that when we look at the Lok Sabha questions and many of the answers do not have data. And talking of data, the census data is delayed by almost 6 years now, and we are still relying on 2011 data. How is that impacting your policy making?
See, I think this criminal neglect by the central government is taking the country backwards, because all my policies are being derived by skewed data, by schemes, my policies, my allocation, budget allocation, all happens on data. Now, if the census don't happen on time, I have to rely on old data, do up some math. Like I was speaking, right? There's so much of migration in Bangalore. Who's accounted that? Right now we can see it, but when we account that, we'll be able to deliver better in governance. And the reason I have a strong opinion about this, the central government is not doing the census or delaying the census purposely, only for the fact that they will be exposed on their schemes and their policies. Nothing has been successful. Skill India failed, Digital India failed, Make in India failed. The data of the BPL, the Global Hunger Index numbers, all that it'll expose them that their social and economic policies have failed miserably. And I think to hide that, they're ensuring they don't do the census. Tell me otherwise, what stops you from doing the census? You are supposed to be the most progressive government in independent India, with a leader with amazing capabilities, God-given gifts, non-biological human being, and you can't do a census? And what are the reasons you're giving? COVID also is done and dusted 2 years back. So my serious apprehension is that they are not doing this to hide their failures.
How is it kind of impacting? So we are trying to, from a Karnataka point, we are trying to push the semiconductor industry, aerospace industry, and all of that. Parallelly, is there a link that you find from the census point, and then how my policies for these sectors are getting affected?
Like I said, it's just not investment point of view. My budget allocations are now currently happening on the 2011 census. My policies are being framed on 2011 census. So it affects governance at large. So if I have better data, it will help me with better tools for governance. And that is what is affecting us. It's just not affecting investments. It's affecting the entire social, economical, and political impact of administration that is necessary.
Talking of the same data part, we did the caste census in 2015, from Karnataka point. Until 2025, it has not made public. It has not come out officially. But the leaked data, kind of shows certain numbers. If I were to put the numbers, SCs at 18%, the leak report, SCs at 18%, Vokkaligas 10%, Lingayats 11%, and Muslims at 13%. How are we placing this if there is no consensus within the Congress to put out a report? Now tomorrow, when the BJP does the caste census, perhaps there will be opposition in terms of how things are framed, that you have left out certain community, you have not done the survey good. Where do we draw the line?
See, we are very clear on our stand. Everybody should be counted, and counted the way they want it counted. And even with this caste census, it happened 10 years back. It's quite natural that there will be some data correction that is required, right? The tools that we have now, we didn't have a decade back. So the government is saying that we will put out this data out. If there's any data correction that needs to be done, so be it. That is one of the suggestions that have come up. The other suggestion is that now that the national, the central government itself is doing a caste census at the national level, let's plug and play with that, is also one of the suggestions. So we'll take a call. We are not shying away from not putting out the data. We are not shying away from being counted or counting. The point is that we need to understand who are the people in our society, what is their socio-economic condition, so that we can do better for them. Ultimately, poverty elevation happens, that's when a country prospers. So when I don't even know the education qualifications of the people, I don't even know their economic conditions, I don't even know how socially empowered or politically empowered they are, how can the government do anything at a micro level? So I think it needs to be done, we will do it. There's no shying away from it.
Right. See, much of this data also takes up, the environmental space in terms of your energy and water costs. And Karnataka has been kind of pushing some of the data center companies that are coming up. That's part of the AI ecosystem that's developing. One, how are we encouraging AI companies to set up in Bangalore and beyond Bangalore? Two, at what cost? At whose cost?
Point taken. While again, conflicts with both my departments. So, as a custodian of technology, I am duty bound to encourage data centers, AI, quantum, and everything. So I need to ensure that people are skill ready, corporates come here, invest, incubate, innovate, invent everything here. But at the same time, as a Minister for Rural Development and Panchayat Raj, I need to ensure that it happens at a sustainable level. So data centers, quantum computing, AI are huge energy and water guzzlers. And as a custodian of Panchayat Raj and rural development, it is my job to ensure that the state is water secure and energy secure as well. So it's a difficult act to balance, and we are ensuring that we have sustainable data centers, sustainable AI missions that we run out of Karnataka. So we are evaluating how we can be energy secure and water secure, not only for rural development, but also for industries. So we have a couple of things lined up, which probably the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister need to have a look and approve. So probably in a few months' time, you will be seeing the most sustainable policy for AI, quantum, and data centers. Although we have a separate policy for each of this, but nobody thought about how to make it sustainable. So you put up 3 prompts in Chat GPT, it is 500 ml of water. Correct? And a lot of data centers are now going to Scandinavian countries because of their weather. Google and Meta are putting their data centers in the sea to ensure this thing.
While OpenAI's Sam Altman differs and he says it's just going to take a spoon of water for 1 prompt. So that was his point. So
as
companies claim.
No, that might be whatever. See, I'm not here to debate with the thing. The point I'm trying to make is water security is very important, whether it's for drinking or whether it's for industry purposes. So that balance needs to be come in through sustainable measures, and that's what we are looking at.
Where do you get to kind of decide on this in terms of advisory? Who kind of gives you an update on this is what is happening? I mean, earlier I used to see there used to be a media advisor to the Chief Minister. Every morning somebody used to go read the newspapers. This is a criticism against your government. These are the positive things and work and all of that. Today it's also, we have moved beyond that, the print and then kind of digital, and people are moving to videos. How are you getting advised?
Now, even before I know, it's already on the media. You see the breaking news that comes in. Sometimes I'm quite astonished from where they get the news, and sometimes, most of the time, it is of course a lot of misinformation and other things.
On the whole, on the Bangalore infrastructure, like you politely put to me in terms of what the state vision is and all of that. When an industry leader like Mohandas Pai points out, it takes a different turn. Let's presume you and Mr. Pai goes out for a drink or for a coffee somewhere. How would that conversation go, and what would that be?
We are cordial with each other. See, we have nothing personal. He speaks for the city. I work for the city. My only problem is, if there is a problem, tell us. We'll try to fix it. There's no point in bringing in so much of negativity. You think Bombay doesn't have problems? One shower, Bombay is out. One shower, Chennai is out. Winter, Delhi's are out. And what happens is, when champions of Bangalore, who have been on probably every vision group for infrastructure or for the industry, speak like this, it becomes difficult. I can understand you're an outsider. I can understand you have not been consulted for policy making. I understand if you're not part of a vision group. I can understand if you're not you don't know people. I can understand if people don't lend a ear to your words. When everything is there, you rant about things that can this thing, and you don't provide solution, and you become a part of the problem. What can I do? Like I said, I mean, he's always data driven. So I'm sure it's not whether it is Mr. Pai or whether it is anybody else. We might rant about anything or everything, but everybody is working for the ecosystem. My only problem is that you can say it and put it in a better way. You are driving the negativity that is being brought in drives away people because people value your words. If you weigh your words and speak and say like, look, there is a problem with this junction, there's a problem with traffic, and I have a probably solution for this. And especially when the doors of any politician is open to you in any government, you choose to do this. That's what I say. Let's say when Bombay is completely shut down, hashtags love Bombay come up, Bombay monsoon comes up. Only in Bangalore it happens like this, and especially when we are in power. Like I said, it's good that the expectations of the people are only from us.
I think it will change over a period of time. But is that an expectation mismatch from an industry leader like him and from what Karnataka government expects from the industry leaders?
Neither his company was built in a day, neither can Bangalore. It's always a constant work in progress, right? I mean, see, I'm not just talking about one person here. There are a lot of other industry captains who say that, look, a company came, it went to Tamil Nadu, it went to Gujarat, it went to Kerala. Yes, industries don't put all their eggs in one basket. Do they have offices only in Karnataka? Do they invest only in Karnataka companies? They're all VCs, they're all industry captains. Don't they invest in a Bombay firm, Delhi firm, Hyderabad firm? It's for profit, right? They also invest. But when somebody else invests in some other thing, investment went off to some other state. I would like to assure you that not a single investment has left the government of Karnataka after sitting across the negotiating table. Not a single one. But if as a company, you have already chosen your destination, what can I do about it? We can convince you. We can try to coax you to have a second look. But without knowing the facts, if you are going to blame the government, that is not correct, is all I'm saying.
Great. I think we touched upon the misinformation part. The Karnataka government is also trying to bring the misinformation and fake news prohibition bill and the Karnataka hate speech and hate crimes bill. Was it approved by the IT department? Has the IT department okayed it?
No, right now it's just in consultation process. And I think there are two very important bills, not just for the state, but also for the nation. As per the World Economic Forum report, India is the hub of misinformation. We are number one in misinformation in the world. And misinformation has been flagged by the three most powerful people in the country. So the former Chief Justice of India had said that misinformation is a threat to democracy. The Election Commissioner of India, before announcing the previous parliament elections, he said 3M plague the democratic process, the electoral process, that is money power, muscle power, and misinformation. And more importantly, Mr. Modi himself, the Prime Minister of the country himself, said misinformation is a huge threat to the society, and fake news, misinformation, disinformation, malinformation should be combated. And we're just doing whatever the three most powerful people say. So, but unfortunately, the collateral damage will be their own people. So, but yeah, I think it's very important that misinformation bill comes into act, which is not, I mean, we're not trying to curb people's freedom of speech. We've explained this to the Editors Guild of India. We've explained this to the press, and they seem to be okay with that. And of course, hate speeches. You know how things get a little bit out of hand. And we have been given a mandate, any government, whether it's UP government or Karnataka government, people have given us a mandate to improve their lives, to provide employment, to ensure that the state is an economic engine driver for the nation. And these hate speeches just create more animosity, create law and order problem. And if there is law and order problem in any state or in any region, how do you convince investors to come? Without investors coming in, no investments. Without investments, no jobs. Without jobs, what will people do? Become Gaurakshaks.
Yeah, so I think it also makes a point that online speech is deemed anti-feminist, obscene, or disrespectful to Sanatan symbols.
No, that is something. I think that is something that's coming from the Legislative Council, but the department. It's their opinion. It's not, like I said, it's in a draft stage. Due consultations have to happen with the Department of Home and my department, because it also involves a little bit of Information Technology Act. So whatever you see in its current form, I don't know how it's gotten out in the public. There is a lot of misinformation about the misinformation bill. So we'll set that right.
Why don't you talk about more on that in terms of how the state is using AI to handle misinformation, or is AI aggravating the misinformation?
See, it works both ways. Technology is always used for good and bad. There is no debating that. And we did a small experiment during the parliament elections, trying to track misinformation. We created a very a tight-knit cell called Information Disorder Tracking Unit. So in this unit, we put fact checkers who would do research as well as who used algorithms or AI. And we found that we were able to detect over 700,000 such misinformation during a very short period of 3 weeks or 4 weeks or something like that. I don't remember the data completely well. And we were able to address a very small part of it, probably 15-20% of it, that's all. So it gave us a sense of things on how AI can be used to detect misinformation and also anticipate when it might be the right, which are the times that these things come out, and also how they're using AI for misinformation also. So if you see why this is so important is during Operation Sindoor, after the Operation Sindoor rather, the Chief of Army Staff makes a statement saying that 15% of the Army's time went in debunking misinformation. So it is just not about politics anymore. It's about law and order. It's about economy situation in the region as well. So it hurts economies. It hurts job creation. And more importantly, it hurts society at large. I mean, I can go on about this, how misinformation and fake news and hate speeches are now becoming dining table talk. I mean, you just open your WhatsApp messages, your school friends whom you didn't even know anything, and now the split is wide open in your own groups.
While this disinformation, it's across party lines, across domains in terms of how people are putting misinformation. One thing that also kind of, with respect to Karnataka, is also the Kannadigas versus non-Kannadigas, and then how the issue of language plays out. Now, predominantly in the IT sector, we also see that there is enough migration of non-Kannadigas people. How are we ensuring the safety of non-Kannadigas? Now, the question of this comes up also because non-Kannadigas sometimes they feel harassed. We see a lot of videos that are going up. Perhaps there is a misinformation as well. How are we addressing that safety issue for them?
As a state, I am duty bound to protect anybody who is in my state. You might be from wherever you are. If you are from Africa, that doesn't mean you're not my responsibility. Right now, you're on my land. The laws of the land are applicable to you and me, and I'm duty bound to do so. But the individual also has responsibilities. While you're exercising your right as a citizen, you also need to follow your civic duties. You cannot abandon them. Our constitution has citizen rights and citizen duties. So if you do your citizen duties, who's going to trample on your rights? Especially the government cannot be doing that. And more importantly, like I said, we are the job creators. We have created this environment. So quite naturally, migration is huge. And we have told that openly to the central government as well, that we need to do more to ensure that we build better infrastructure for all these things. But I think it's the duty of every individual, Kannadiga, non-Kannadiga, to follow the constitution, follow the law of the land. While everybody has the right to work everywhere. I can go and work in Assam, Tripura if I want to. Nobody can stop me that because constitution. But I need to respect the local laws. I need to respect the local culture. I need to respect the local languages. I might not learn it,
Right.
but why should I? Why can't I respect it? The problem, what's happening here, if you see those videos also, there are certain things that which are highly objectionable, I feel personally. I mean, not all, but 70% of the time, it is highly objectionable because they bring in that divide. We are ready to learn, respect your language. Why not you? In Karnataka, Tamil movies run 100 days, Telugu movies run 100 days, Shah Rukh Khan movies run 100 days. We are welcoming, we respect, and when it comes to respecting our own language, yes, we are protective, just like how you are protective. But while we respect you, why the same reciprocatory thing should come is all I'm asking. There's nothing wrong in learning a language. Ultimately, where are we all coming from? We derive our rights from the Constitution. Constitution gives me the same right that it gives you also. As simple as that.
When was the last time you watched a movie?
Oh, okay. In theater?
In theater, and if you're on OTT platform, if you get time.
Theater, I don't recollect. But yeah, it's been many years. There a funny incident happened. I don't know which movie I went to. I think some Hindi movie or something. So it was a Sunday or something. I went with my family, and somebody comes up to me, "Sir, how come you are here?" So I felt so guilty, like, I've abandoned my responsibilities and coming and watching a movie. And I think that was the last I went for a movie. But now, yeah.
I heard you were also more into rock music.
I love music. I think, yeah. I mean, I think not a single day goes without listening to good music. And I think music has no language. So, right from Dr. Raj songs to S.T. Burman, R.D. Burman to Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, Mozart. I mean,
is that kind of a winding up thing, or is that you just
something that I think both my wife and me enjoy a lot. I mean, even she also likes music, and that's something that all my siblings also like music. So that's something that has come up. So we have, I don't know if you know, there's a movie called Bhutayana Maga Ayu. So I have the vinyl discs of that one. I have vinyl discs of Sholay, Diwar, Sharap Panjara's vinyl discs. I have audio tapes still with me. I have audio CDs with me. I have DVDs of different regions with different DVD region players, because what used to play in European DVD regions would not play in the American. So, yeah.
How is this kind of shaping Priyank Kharge's political views and kind of policies? Your worldview, it's a very creative world, right? You are interested in books, in terms of travel culture, in terms of gaming. There's quite a lot of creative work that I'll come out the gaming part.
I got more time to game, but yeah, I stopped gaming also.
Why?
Now, I don't know. I mean, I remember that, we used to play games on 486. Then when the Pentium came in, we thought like, wow, that's the greatest thing. I mean, from Doom, we went to Doom 2 and Mortal Kombat, all those things. And now you see what's happening with...
Are you eagerly waiting for the GTA 6?
Well, I'm stopped at 3. So, I don't know. So like the PS5 machine that you saw, I mean, the technology has changed so much. It's so much more realistic. You see the architecture around it. It's highly, highly impressive. And when I see kids play these things, of course, I wish I was not in this role, so I could just hang out with that and figure out how to play that game. But of course, now I'm sure my reflexes are extremely, extremely bad. But having said that, yeah, I think it used to be a kind of winding down thing earlier, but I don't know. I mean, now it's technology has changed so much, the hardware. So I was seeing the Asus ROG. They have buttons below as well.
I'm not even giving, but
it's just crazy on how these things have evolved, and definitely I'm not evolved as well.
How is that shaping in terms of what's Karnataka doing for the gaming industry? And
well, we are of course, we are one of the first ones to come up with the AVGC policy, the audiovisual gaming and comics policy, and I think we are leaders in visual effects and animation. And I think gaming is something that's picking up huge. Of course, we don't encourage RMGs, real money gaming, or online betting and things like that. But gaming itself as a sector, we are very, very aggressive about. And we will soon be having the Game Coders Conference here, in Game Developers Conference here in Bangalore. And we are trying to see if we can set up a center of excellence in gaming, so where people can come up and create their own IPs with respect to animation and gaming.
In Bangalore?
In Bangalore.
Okay. Now, looking beyond Bangalore for these kind of talents, right? I mean, Karnataka has been positioning itself saying that we are moving beyond Bangalore in terms of setting up the infrastructure. Put across certain points in terms of how are we focusing on decongesting Bangalore from the infrastructure point and kind of establishing the talent pool where they can access for jobs in their locations.
So, like I said, we are creating the local economic accelerator programs, wherein we are addressing just the things that you say. We are creating plug and play facilities in Bengaluru, Hubli, Belagavi, Dharwad, Kalburgi, Bellary, so that we are able to build a very solid pyramid of innovation. So the bottom of the pyramid will be a solid foundation of skills. We'll top that up with incubation centers. We'll top that up with centers of excellence where innovations and inventions are bred. We'll top it up with budget and policy. So you'll have a nice solid pyramid that is driven by policy and which is established by skills and education. And this is what we are going to do. We are doing across the state. Like I said, this is something that we don't speak much about, but it's a huge success story. So Bengaluru exports close to around 3,000 to 4,000 crores annually in IT exports. Mysuru is exporting close to around 3,000 crores. Belgavi is exporting close to around 1,200 crores. So we have created these clusters. We are looking at Hubli, Belgavi, Dharwad as a cluster. We are looking at Manipal, Udupi and Mangaluru as a cluster. We are looking at Kalburgi as a regional cluster. So we are building this entire ecosystems through plug and play installations, through incubations, and we are requesting a lot of our corporates as well to handhold us there. So that, they also, we have come up with the concept of nano GCCs. So if somebody wants to see how the ecosystem is there in Mysore, we have a building. We'll give you all the infrastructure that is required. Go there, put up a small thing, 25 people, 50 people, start. You like it, you want to scale up to 500, you can move out. So these are the things that we are trying to do to ensure we decongest Bangalore. There are economic activities across the state as well.
Would you be able to put out numbers in terms of how much of job creation is happening beyond Bangalore with the Nipuna scheme and all this beyond Bengaluru schemes?
So the Nipuna scheme is something that we have started a couple of months back. Almost some 9 companies have pledged, have a memorandum of understanding with us, and we are aiming for close to around 150,000 jobs in the private sector. And when I say 150,000 jobs, we are going to ensure that they are the most employable, like I said. See, it's very difficult for any government to promise 100% employment. But if I'm able to promise you 100% employability, I'm sure that the individual will find a job wherever he or she desires, or at least in the vertical they want. So maybe you want to join Boeing. Maybe you end up joining with Mahindra Aerospace, or you want to join Mahindra Aerospace, but you get to join a private sector in Boston, perhaps. So,
how's the kind of response from the corporate to set up in these places? We don't see, from the Karnataka region, we don't see many IT companies setting up there.
See, this
one, is it because of the talent pool? Because we see, what I hear from people on ground is, people from, let's say, up north in Karnataka, it's easier for me to move to Pune and Hyderabad than even come to Bengaluru, because the ecosystem is kind of helping me there, because there are no companies for me to establish, be in that region.
See, these ecosystems are not built over a period of time. It's taken Bangalore 4 decades. Pune started 2 decades back. Hyderabad started 2 decades back. So quite naturally, it will not happen immediately. As a government, our constant effort should be to build ecosystems that create jobs. So it's very easy for me as an IT minister to announce an IT park. So tomorrow itself, I can announce an IT park. I can build a building also, but it is going to be a ghost shell. What I need to do is understand my ecosystem. What is that our people need is a huge skill accelerator. That's what we are doing.
Yeah, talking on this, the reservation for Kannadigas or the locals, how you put it, where is it heading? I see that the industry is not receptive of this.
See, this has been debated multiple times. It's also been debated in the Supreme Court. Andhra tried it did not work. Haryana tried it did not work. A couple of other states also had this. Maharashtra tried it did not work. So while my job as the minister from Karnataka is to ensure more people from my state get a thing, because ultimately the investment is coming here, the land is the land belongs to our people, the pollution is happening here, the water is coming from here. All the resources is going from here. So it is my job to ensure as many Kannadigas get a job. But in order to do that, what do I need to do is to ensure that they are the most employable as well. You cannot get a job just because of your regional status anywhere. So whether I am going and working in Noida, it is not because they are hiring me because I am employable, not because I am from Karnataka. So in order to ensure that our people get jobs, I need to ensure they're most employable, and that's what is Nipuna Karnataka all about. That's what the Ministry of Skill also is driving across. So, and why only Karnataka, sir? Why can't people who are trained in Bengaluru work in Boston, work in Brisbane, work in London? We have the most agile human resource in the world. We are highly sought after. So we should, in my opinion, as a government, I am going to train as many Kannadigas as possible in the best skill sets so that they can be employable across the globe.
You talked about somebody learning from here and going and working in Boston. Parallelly, we also spoke about the language policy. I think the center is also pushing towards, Hindi towards the southern region in terms of...
They're a confused lot. If you heard our Home Minister speak, day before yesterday, he said people who know English will be punished, or they will be punished in due course of time. Then he's the one who says that Hindi should be followed everywhere. So what is he trying to say? What is the central government stand on this? Is Hindi our national language? Definitely not. Is English our national language? Definitely not. You want to you want to bring in Amrit Kal, you want to bring in Vikshit Bharat, and you're saying no English, only Hindi. Then what message are you trying to give?
Do you see AI solving these problems? Because we see some of the startups, including government owned, either Servam or Bashinis, are trying to solve the kind of giving applications that can translate from one language to another and then trying to bridge that gap.
No, eventually we will get there. But NLMs and LLMs are something that is very important to India because of the sheer demography that we have and the population that we have and the diversity in the population that we have. So quite natural. It's just a matter of time before these things are going to be mainstream. And now you see that the central government and state governments also are funding certain architectural changes for startups like Bhashini and natural language modules that are there. So I guess it's important and eventually we'll get there.
Right. When we talked about, the beyond Bengaluru aspect, again, one of the Kionics IT park in Kalburgi, I was talking to companies that were set up yesterday. One of the complaints was, yes, there is great infrastructure, plug and play system is working and all of that, but the power supply is not there. There are certain, I wouldn't say small, but kind of complaints like the lift not working. We are not able to access few facilities and all of that, which is stopping them from kind of attracting the local talent, which says that, look, I can't function in such an environment, which is why I'm moving out of that particular city. Now, these might be, a smaller problem from the ministry point of view, but how are we
So smaller, no problem is small or big. You can't wait for a small problem to become big to address it. If it's nipped in the bud, that's what is called governance. So these might have been maintenance issues which have not come to like you said, it doesn't come to the notice of the ministry of a lift not working or anything. But of course, the local administration should be pretty hands-on with that. So, and we are building more infrastructure also. So with respect to plug and play facilities in Gulbarga, we have already, the building for export-oriented electronics is already up, ready. So if there are deficiencies in day-to-day functioning, that should be corrected. We cannot allow people who have shown immense faith in us to invest there to let go.
On the rural development front, quite a lot of people in rural Karnataka or rural India work during, let's say, February to May season so that they can get the money to do the house repairs, pay for the child's fee and all of that. We see delay in Manrega wages. That is also amply clear because of the funds that are not coming in from the center. If you can talk about how much is pending, how are we addressing that? Yes, just because I have a track, but the train is not ready, I cannot say people, look, it is problem of somebody. But at the end of the day, I'm responsible for the people.
No, see, like I said earlier, if everybody does their job, we will not have this problem. Everybody doing their job on time. Now, whose job is it to pay the Manrega wages? The central government. We are doing whatever is the state share we have been duly giving. I'll give you an example in my department only. So last year, the Jal Jeevan Mission, which is supposedly the Prime Minister's pet project. It is a collaboration between state government and central government. I pay 50%, they pay 50%. Last year, they owed me close to around 2,800 crores. You know how much they paid me? 517 crores. And when I write to them saying that, look, there is a deficit here and you need to pay up because work has happened and we need to pay up, they say that this financial year there are some constraints. So why don't you pay up and we'll pay you later? In writing, they've given it to me. Now, in interest of a crucial project like rural water supply, drinking water, I can't stop the project. So I end up paying for the central government, putting their money from my kitty. Now, the same 2,500 crores is kept for something else, right? When a budget is allocated, we have a fixed budget that we have to work. Allocations are made. So if I am pulling out 2,000 crores from my kitty and putting it for their work, because they are not doing their job on time, what happens to the state program? It gets neglected. Now, whose job, like you said, if I tell this to public, they'll say, sir, Kudiyo Neeri Yojana edu. It's a drinking water project. How can you neglect? I can't. It's a very important project for us because even we have our skin in the game. Why do you think we went and protested in Delhi? As a state government, the entire cabinet went to Delhi asking for our share of our right devolution. We are not saying devolution of taxes and funds. We are not saying that, see, in a federal structure, we need to learn to share in this thing. It used to always happen. So you're paying 100 rupees from Karnataka as tax. You're getting back only some 11 rupees. I'm not saying you give back 100 rupees. But at least if you give us 15 rupees, 20 rupees, we will build infrastructure. We will get in better policies. We will absorb the migration that is coming in here. But for the same 100 rupees, when a person in UP pays, he gets back close to around 198 rupees. Bihar, if somebody pays 100 rupees, they're getting back 333 rupees. If in Madhya Pradesh is 132 rupees. So is that fair? And then you come back and tell us that we are not doing enough. We are not doing. State government is strangling central government schemes. Where is it? During our time when the UPA was there, the ratio would be 60-40. 60% central government, 40% state government. Now what is the central sponsored schemes? Show me one central sponsored scheme that is 60-40. It's either 60-40 state and central ratio or 50-50. Otherwise, there's no difference between Modi ji and me.
Great. Now, in terms of, you put up pure administration, how you think of and all of that. How would you define or how would you differentiate Modinomics versus Khargenomics if there is one in your mind?
I don't think there's I would say there's a Karnatakanomics rather than a Khargenomics. I mean, forget what I have to say politically. Let's look at data. Take any program that has been announced with fanfare or any central government and tell me that it is successful. Show me the data for Skill India. Have they actually managed to this thing? They're not employable at all. Show me what about Make in India, sir? The workforce in manufacturing has come down. The production, the manufacturing output, which was 16.7% or something, is now 14.4%. How is it successful?
Why is there a hesitancy from the industry to not come out on this? Because whenever we talk to industry on the semiconductor front, whether it is aerospace and all this front, everybody talks about great initiative from Make in India and all that. Why that criticism doesn't come in? Why do you feel so?
Oh, well, now in the last 10 years, the responsibilities have shifted. Somehow opposition is responsible for answering everything that the ruling government is doing. Ruling government is happy just coming in advertisements and sloganeering. Like I said, let us speak hard data, sir. Show me one Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. They spend more on advertising than the actual program. Yeah. It's not my data. That's what the numbers say so. Your foreign policy, complete failure. Mr. Trump is saying, Make in India, Apple, iPhone should not be there. What are you saying for that? Nothing. You banned PUBG. China is not sending their, the human resource for knowledge transfer here. What did you do? Nothing.
How are you bridging that gap? I mean, of course, Karnataka is also getting affected by that.
That is Karnataka model. We don't speak much, we deliver. If I say that, they're going to copy that as well. So like I said, the Karnataka-nomics, what is our model? Social empowerment, economic empowerment. Look at, people criticize us for guarantees, correct? What was the necessity for guarantees to come up?
Social empowerment.
Absolutely. Socio-economic empowerment. So why was that necessary? Because of Modinomics. Failure of Modinomics. What is our ranking in global hunger index? We are at the bottom. What is our per capita income? We are at the bottom. You're the fourth largest economy, fine. Fifth largest economy, fine. What's your per capita income? You're worse than your sub-Saharan standards it is. So
why these issues are not reflecting when it comes to votes in terms of how people look at it? Bangalore has 1/5 of the population of the state. But when it comes to voting, perhaps the Congress party loses out on these votes. Why these ground reality doesn't?
I'm glad you bring this up. That gets me to think that Bangalore has always been a BJP bastion, right? What have they done so far then? All the MLAs who have won in BJP in Bangalore have won more than 3 terms, 4 terms, 5 terms. What have they done? I mean, what is the central government contribution to Bangalore? So when Dr. Manmohan Singh was there, he gave us a lot of flyovers, he gave us the metro, he did things. There was a lot of sync with the growth engine of the state. What happened now? And why people are not criticizing their... See, I think the BJP and the central government has managed to get into the minds of people through false narratives. So have you ever seen Mr. Siddaramaiah or Mr. D.K. Shivkumar or Mr. Kharge or Mr. Rahul Gandhi speak about communal issues? Have you heard them speak about any particular community with hate, with angst? No. What do they always speak about? Economic empowerment, social empowerment, constitutional rights, about India. How come you please get to a survey done or research done on this? What is the language the Prime Minister uses during election versus what our leaders use? We talk about building lives. We talk about creating employment. We don't talk communal issues.
But to make the change, Mr. Priyank, you have to be in power. And to be in power, you have to get that vote. And to get that vote, you have to convince people. Are we failing there? Or are we not? Is it about the funds? Like, I don't have enough money like the party which is in power at the center.
No, it's a mix of everything. We need to work harder. You know, there was a time when people would say you give a lamppost also a Congress ticket, the lamppost would win. Now it's the BJP's turn. It's just a matter of time. But the problem is that during this tenure, the damage done is becoming irreparable. Look at, these hyper-nationalism. You have idiotic celebrities coming out and saying like, before when I would go, people would not look at my passport. Now they look at my passport and say, oh, you're Indian. Is that a fact? What's your passport power index now? It's down in doldrums. When you have celebrities coming and asking the Prime Minister, how do you eat your mangoes? That's coming on prime time. When you have the Prime Minister trying to suffocate scientific temperament, what will happen? The Indian Science Congress, which is more than centuries old, where the best minds, scientific minds of India would come and debate on what next in science in India, are debating what now? Are debating whether cow urine can cure cancer or not? Your triple IT Chennai director is saying, if I say it, you say it, forget it. A director of one of the renowned institutes, you're talking about Pushpak Viman, you're talking about nuclear. When the Prime Minister says that Ganesha was the first person to have plastic surgery, Karna was a test tube baby. This is debated on scientific forums. Well, we are proud about our mythologies, we are proud of our Puranas. Don't mix mythology to history and make it science. They've managed to imprint it on people, this hyper-nationalism, this fake narratives of we being prosperous, economic. Why aren't the numbers speaking it? Why are they not having an economic survey? Why are they not having the census like you asked earlier? So because it exposes these things. If there was so much employment, why are youngsters doing all these things?
I think on that front, Commerce Minister said there is not much deep tech investment happening. In India, people are investing in the ice cream startups. That's what is being built. How do you see, considering that Karnataka is kind of empowering so much of deep tech startups? There are a lot of deep tech startups emerging from the state.
One thing heartening is that the Karnataka ecosystem is ahead of the curve. We have 32% of all our startups are into deep tech. Having said that, in a situation like this, anybody who creates a job should be valued. You cannot undermine people adding value to the economy, creating jobs. Nobody likes being a gig worker, sir. Because you are not able to provide permanent employment, they are doing that job. Why, after becoming an engineer, why are people working in Swiggy? Let the Commerce and Industry Minister answer. Let the IT Minister answer this. Why are you not? We are not creating that environment, and then you are telling whose job is to create that environment. And then on public forum, you are going and criticizing founders who are creating jobs, one job at least. As a government, own responsibility. It's your job. That's what you have been elected for. If people are making or baking cookies, that's because you have created that environment. Great, people do need cookies. Let's do that also. But what breakthrough, how much money you're giving through, for how much of your budget are you putting into research and development? Tell me one big institute that has been started in the last 11 years on scale. One. There's absolutely no institute of repute that has been created in the last 10, 11 years. Or have you created any public sector unit? No. The ones that are running also you're shutting down by privatizing everything.
You spoke of the gig workers. Of that, the whole recent Rapido thing in terms of the bike taxis. Where are we on that front? Why is there a pressure? Is there a pressure from the auto industry?
No, I wouldn't say there is pressure. Obviously, there is always pressure when a new technology comes in. There's always it's always looked up with skepticism. So, like when Uber and Ola came out, the previous taxis, even in Maharashtra, the red and yellow taxis, the Kali Pili, the cool cabs, they all protested. But now everybody is on Ola, Uber, and all. So it's a similar thing that's happening with, I think, with the bike taxis. We are in a phase of transition, and I think in due course, they will also be up and running. It's just a matter of time, I guess.
We've been seeing this kind of up and down frequency probably from 2016 with respect to bike taxis. Why is that constant change?
See,
is the industry not able to put across their point, and is the government not able to manage?
It's a bit of both again. And like I said earlier, policies always play catch up to technology. Okay, so when Uber and Ola came up, there was nothing called hailing a taxi through an app. There was nothing called ride sharing in a policy. There was nothing called surge pricing. So these are things that we learn, and it's not the problem only with this. Uber was banned in London. They were banned in San Francisco from place they came up. They went on strike during Paris when I was there recently, and Uber owes its origin to Paris. So, that's always a problem with policy making, I guess. And that is why we need to create a regulatory sandbox where, we don't throttle innovation because we don't have a policy for it. As long as it is a legal business, as long as it's constitutionally run, we need to allow innovations to thrive in regulatory sandbox environment as well. So that is a problem with policies across the thing. So even, for example, your Bitcoin, what does the central government stand on it? They're neither saying it's legal nor they're saying it's illegal. So we don't know what to do with it.
Would Karnataka embrace it? What is Karnataka's stance?
Unfortunately, I am not empowered to make a rule. If I'm empowered, then I'll take a decision. Right now, we have to depend on the central government for this. But whether it's bike taxi, whether it's responsible use of AI, whether it is online real money gaming, or whether it is Bitcoin, all these things need a more consultative approach, more magnanimous approach. to frame laws, to bring in policies, to ensure that innovations thrive without being illegal.
In terms of the overall picture, like how would you present Karnataka's ambitions with AI, and from the tech segment, what was expected from the tech industry, and how you're going to present in the next 5 years?
See, one good thing about Karnataka is that we always work closely with the stakeholders. So all our policies, all our schemes are duly consulted, vetted by them. We see the pros and cons of everything, and then we make it as a public policy. So I think the expectation from Karnataka is huge, because we have the third largest talent pool after US and Germany. And like I said, we are the top 5 in AI cities, and we are to see how we can use AI across sectors. So whether it's in agriculture, or whether it's in research, whether it's in education. So I think the expectations are huge, and we are talking to multiple stakeholders to see how we can make it relevant in their verticals.
I think I'm pretty much done on the tech front. I have 2 kind of questions, and one is a kind of a rapid fire round I want to put out. I'll pick up 5-6 names. Your first thought, or what do you think of this person when I tell the name? Yeah. Let's start with considering you started from as a student activist and how you shaped up in the party. Tejasvi Surya.
I think I should skip this. I have a very different.
All right. So, PM Narendra Modi.
Great marketing guy. Zero on delivery.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman.
Articulate, but again, mere puppet to the regime.
Mallikarjunan Kharge, your father.
Rebellious, thorough Ambedkarite.
Rahul Gandhi, opposition leader.
Earnest. I've never seen a more earnest and honest politician who intends to do good for the society and the country. I mean, you might think it is flattering, but he is really a very earnest gentleman.
Great. With that note, for 2028 for Karnataka elections, what would be the campaign material for the Congress to stay in power?
Oh, well, as usual, I think one good thing about the Congress is that we put forth our work as our main agenda. So we intend to deliver on all the promises that we have done in the manifesto, go to people and tell them how we have worked for social, economical and political empowerment. I think that should be the thing. We need to go give a report card saying like, this is the number of jobs, this is the number of investments, this is where the previous, when we were voted to power, this is where Karnataka was, and this is where Karnataka is, and we'll be taking this further. So it's going to be purely progressive agenda.
There's so much talks about infighting within the Congress. For 2028, can we see a Dalit as a CM in the forefront?
See,
and you had in 2023 said, why not for you to become a CM? What are
I had said that. I never
that's
said
what the media report.
Media can say anything they want. See, I have a lot of learning to do. It has nothing to do with me. And more importantly, I think the government and the party is focused currently on delivering the promises that it made. We have a clear 3 years. If there are any faults within the party or in governance, we are pulling up our socks on that. We're not, it's not, nobody is perfect. And by 2028, we will be having a solid plan, a roadmap for Karnataka, for Kannadigas on various issues. And I'm sure that we'll bounce back in 2028. And in 2028, who is going to be the leader will be decided by the Congress Legislative Party and by the High Command. So right now we have our roles defined. Mr. Siddaramaiah is the Chief Minister. Mr. D.K. Shivkumar is the PCC President and the Deputy CM. Mr. Parameshwar is the Home Minister. Priyank Kharge is the IT Minister and the RDPR Minister. So we have our roles defined, and the party and the people expect us to deliver to the best of our capabilities for them.
Great. That's all from our end. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Mr. Priyank.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
It was
much.
wonderful.